So we're gonna just do some moving around, get blood flowing, get some joints lubricated, that kind of good warm-up type stuff. I'll also begin to expose you to a little bit of management strategies for stress physiology. All right, if you haven't been to S12 before, we're not just gonna stand still in front of paper targets the whole time. We move around a lot. It gets to be very exertional, and things get faster and faster and faster as we go throughout the course of the weekend. So it's really important to have strategies to manage the internal dialogue and all the internal stress that's going on while you're doing those tasks. Briefly though, I don't know you. I don't know the health of your body. You know you. If we do something and you're like, I don't know if that shit's for me today, then abstain. I don't want you to like pop your ACL at S12 and then go, oh, Rob Wilson made me do 20 squats on a torn ACL or whatever. If you need to abstain from any exercise that we're doing, then just do it and afterwards go, hey, is there a different thing I can do tomorrow? Okay? Yes? Okay, so let's start with this because this is going to come up a lot. Closed loop communication. So does everybody know what closed loop communication is? Some of you do. I can tell. So if I say, is the sun up right now? Okay, that's like 5 more people. All right. Is the sky blue? There we go. That's important because there's going to be a lot of shit going on. Mick's going to be yelling at you. We're going to have you doing multiple things. So we have to know that you guys know what's going on. So if a question is asked of you, then respond loud and verbally. Okay? We're getting it a little bit. We're getting it a little bit. Okay. So let's start with feet somewhere about hip width apart, toes pointed straight-ish. You're going to inhale through your nose, reach up, look up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, look down, touch your knees, your shins, or your toes. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, look down, touch your knees, your shins, or your feet, whatever you got. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down. Touching your knees, your shins, or your toes. Inhale, look up. Reach up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Look up, reach up. Exhale, down. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, look down, reach down. One more, inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, look down, reach down. Don't just slump over, reach. There we go. And stand up. Awesome. Good job. Now we're going to have feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to do some squats. Here's the thing about squats. I don't care how far down you go. That's up to you. What does that mean? 30? 3? Okay. All right, so feet shoulder width apart. We're going to inhale. We're going to go down. Come on down with me. Exhale, come up. Good. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Very good. Let's do this. Start walking in place. Pull your knees a little bit higher. There you go. Good posture. Pull them up really high. Even higher. Get them way up. Good. I like the arm swing. Getting it going, right? Take a big breath in through your nose. Let it out. One more big breath in through your nose. Push all of your air out. Hold your breath. Keep marching. Hold your breath. Keep marching. Keep your mouth closed. Hold your breath. Keep marching. Keep marching. Keep marching. You want to breathe right now, but don't do it yet. Keep marching. And breathe. Good. Big breath in. Fill the bucket. Imagine like your lungs are a bucket that you're filling up with water. Keep marching. Keep marching. It's going to get way harder than this weekend. Breathing in. Fill the bucket. Breathing out. Nice and smooth. Breathe in. Fill the bucket. Breathe out on purpose. Good. Breathe in. Push all your air out. Hold your breath. Keep marching. Keep marching. Keep marching. Keep marching. Keep marching. How long is he going to make us do this? Keep marching. Keep marching. And breathe in. Fill the bucket. Breathe out nice and smooth. Don't think about how hard your heart's beating or how tired you are or how much longer we're going to do this. Breathe in. Fill the bucket. Breathe out. Smooth and slow. Breathe in. Fill the bucket. Breathe out. Smooth and slow. Hold your breath. Keep going. Keep marching while you hold your breath. Keep marching while you hold your breath. Push yourself a little bit. Keep marching while you hold your breath. You decide how fast and how high, but keep marching. Keep marching, keep marching. And stop. Find your pulse. Find your pulse. Breathe in. Fill the bucket. Breathe out slow. Just imagine your rib cage like a 5-gallon bucket that you're filling up with water, bottom to top and out to the sides. Breathe in, fill the bucket. Breathe out, control your exhale. Pay attention to what's happening to your pulse as you do that. Breathe in, fill the bucket. Breathe out, control the exhale. Breathe in, fill the bucket. Breathe out, control the exhale. Awesome. All right, relax. As you're marching, and I'm just saying, keep marching, what's going on as you're marching? Holding your breath. You're freaking out. I want to breathe. Do you think you're really going to die from that? No, right? That's the internal dialogue that starts to occur because physiology is being asked to work harder and harder and harder. That's a normal dialogue that starts to occur. There's two ways we can deal with that. One is expand capacity. You get more fit. That's one way. The other way is manage the fitness that you have. Manage the internal dialogue that you have. Breathing is a direct way to do that. As things get busier and busier on the range, you're like, shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Whose gun is this? Is it my turn in line? I fucked it up last time. Return to that idea of fill the bucket, control the exhale, and then think about what you need to be doing. Okay, we're going to review this quite a bit over the course of the weekend. Good? Yep. Let's return to the pavilion, wait further instructions. Thank you.
So what's our 4 cardinal rules of firearm safety as per codified by Cooper actually created them? What's number 1? So treat every gun as it's always loaded. That's a mindset. Number 2, never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to shoot, kill, or destroy. There's a pattern here. Number 3, so keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. Some people will also say keep the gun unloaded until you're ready to shoot because we're carrying a firearm. That one doesn't really apply. Always know your target and what's beyond. Something that we add here in the confines of S12, know your target, what's beyond, what's around it, and of course what's between it, right? I could be safely shooting at Joe because there's nothing behind him, but if my kid's between us, that's not a safe target, right? So I need to constantly know what's around the target, beyond it, and in front of it. Yes? As long as I never point the thing at myself, I'm never going to shoot myself. Anybody know anybody that ever got a self-inflicted gunshot wound? Or anybody know anybody that accidentally fired a gun off like in their house or even on the range? Raise your hand if you've ever seen that. Have you heard a story around it? This story usually goes, well, man, this thing was happening. Have you ever heard a story like that? And they build up a big story. You ever heard that? Here's the story. You took a loaded gun, you pointed it somewhere, you pulled the trigger. End of story. So we're just not going to do that. Yes? Yeah. So we will manage the muzzle at all times and we will be conscious of our trigger finger. If I'm moving at a pace that I don't know where this is, or I'm moving at a pace that I don't know where my trigger finger is, what can I do? Slow down. We're not gonna go at any pace that you can't be thinking about it. When we say our finger's high off the trigger, we mean high off the trigger. We don't mean lingering around the trigger guard, and my firearm is empty and clear. Not around the trigger guard, but high off the trigger. Z brought up this idea this morning of physiological responses. What happens when you make a fist? Do all the fingers bend or just one? So if you sympathetically grasp due to fright or something, it's pretty easy to get your finger into the trigger. So we're going to dominate this space so that I know what's in and around it. Yes? Yeah. Well. So here's how this will go down. We've got, where's all my instructors? Raise your hands. Won't you guys come forward? An instructor is going to come to you. Everybody's going to have their eyes and ears on. The instructor is just going to tap you. I'll take my mic off so that everybody doesn't hear me. And they're going to, in order, however we grab you, I'll say, Yolanda, come on now. Load and make ready. We'll identify the target that you're on, and we'll shoot it. We're aiming for the black, right? So if I'm shooting at this target, I'm trying to keep them in the black. Understand? There is no time constraint. If you want to take 5 minutes to fire the 6 rounds, the instructor is going to let you do it. If you go, cool, just don't point the gun at anybody else. Make sense? You guys know what we're doing? And then we're going to unload and go to the holster cleared out. And just to make sure we're all on the same page, unload. When we unload the gun, we remove the source of ammunition, store it on my body, cycle, lock the slide or bolt to the rear, in this case slide, inspect the chamber, the breech face, the mag well. Look away, look back, chamber, breech face, mag well. Slide forward, point the gun into the berm, hammer down, and go to the holster without pointing your gun at yourself. Make sense? Yes. Jody? Yes. When you say blood donor, what does that actually mean? I donate blood. Okay, cool, man. Cool. I don't know if there was some, like, you've already said some weird jokes, so I don't know if it was some, like, rock band. No. Okay. Let's go. Eyes and ears. Eyes and ears. Rounds get stuck in hot chambers. Dirty guns, rounds get stuck in. You're not, William's nodding his head like, yes, sir, I've seen it. I've seen it, yes, sir. Where are you from? Massachusetts. Oh, you don't talk like that at all. You say water, water. You got out the bubbler. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Chamber, the breech face is where the primer gets hit. See that back here? Look at it. Look in the mag well. Run the slide forward, depress the trigger while pointing into the berm. That's as unloaded as the gun's gonna get. Got it? Unload, show it's clear, slide forward, point it into a safe direction, depress the trigger. Don't do that shit quick. Do it where you're being mindful of it. If it matters, pay attention. We're not just rushing through the shit. That's how people shoot themselves. A couple of things come to mind. Where's Derek? Derek, when you train grappling, which is almost every single day of your life, do you train something that you wouldn't actually use if you were fighting? Like, would you grab somebody in a way, like if I was really doing it, I'd do it this way. You train it how you do it, right? So if I'm watching you guys, I've got a cert gun, guys. Pay attention. I'm hearing a lot of conversations behind the line. If you came here to actually train, let's train. If you're talking about stuff back there that is not pertaining to what's actually happening, you're somewhere else. You're not here. This is just a cert gun, so I'm going to point this around a little differently than I would a real gun. If I was going to get a final sight picture, or let me rephrase that, if I was going to depress the trigger on my empty chamber, would I just want to fucking do this? I'm watching some of you guys do this. You've cleared the gun, caught the round, because that's cool. 20 cents is worth playing with guns and bullets, right? Just let the shit fall. Lock the slide back. I'm seeing some of this. Does that seem like something that is repeatable, reliable, and robust? Would you rely on your personal safety and the safety of others on that system? Anybody ever change a tire? First time I ever changed a tire, I never had changed a tire because it was the first time. I didn't understand things like torque specifications. I put the tire on, and I was very concerned that I didn't tighten it enough. So I proceeded to put my lug wrench on. It was a 1985 Ford Bronco XLT, 351 Cleveland, beautiful, beautiful truck. Bench seat, which is beautiful for all kinds of front seat activities, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I put that tire iron on there, and I proceeded to jump on it and push. And then each time I put it on, I made sure I put it on at 90 degrees so I could drive that fucker down. I got the tire on, beautiful, tight as fuck. Drove about 80 feet and I watched my tire roll past me into the ditch. I sheared every lug stud off. So there was something that, maybe wasn't exactly the way it should be. As we are thinking about and doing this shit, I have to be in a frame of mind, what is my default? Where am I going to fall to when I'm tired? Anybody ever lose their keys? How stupid, right? You just are too preoccupied. I've got to think about what I'm doing, manipulating these guns. If I really need it, it's not, hey, Doc Josh, in about 10 minutes, you're going to need to defend yourself. You want to go ahead and prep yourself, maybe go through some of those Brian Wilson breathing exercises, and then we'll get you ready to defend yourself. Right? That's bullshit, right? So as I'm manipulating the gun, think about, man, in a really bad situation, how am I going to behave in this? Now, I will add to that, we don't want to train ourselves that I'm going to be a shit show, right? Your shirts say, I move mountains with my words and deeds. So what I think about, what I do is going to direct the outcome. So I need to think about, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm going to clear this gun out. Why not get a good final sight picture? Break the shot, yeah, that was perfect. Finger straight. As I go to the holster this weekend, I'm going to verify visually my trigger guard's clear, my finger's high off the trigger, my holster's clear, and I'm going to go to the holster without pointing the gun at myself or anybody else. If I'm in the appendix position, cert gun, as I go in the holster, if I've got a little bit of a tummy, this gun's going to end up oriented into my body. Very bad if the gun discharges here. Very bad. Besides that you're going to shoot yourself, you're shooting yourself in a position that we aren't going to save you out here. You're going to bleed to death. Pop your pelvis forward slightly, pick your shirt up, and run the gun in. On that note, we may find out this morning that some of these positions might not be best for your body. Just because some douchebag on Instagram does it that way doesn't mean you should. And just because some douche on Instagram says that anybody that doesn't do it this way is dumb, doesn't make it dumb. Why do I carry the gun? Why do you carry a gun? Mitchell?
Protection, self-defense.
Sure.
Anything.
Right. So it's not to look a certain way? So I've got to have it in a position that allows me the ability to get it out of the holster. What's your job? Do you sit in a truck all day? Are you at a desk? So I've got to think about how this gun's on me. Is it the best and most advantageous way for me to use the gun? She, wherever Bennett's at, was a school teacher for almost 20 years. Do you think she could have a frickin' pistol in her crotch all day with kindergartners? Right? So you got to start to think about your environment. Then when I'm training, is the way I'm training, is it the same way I'm going to have it for real? So that doesn't make sense, right? Derek doesn't train how to grab somebody any different than he's going to do it for real. So if I'm carrying the shit different now, that doesn't make sense. Let's assess our targets. Wow, there's some really good targets. Who shot 21? That's pretty good. What are you, an engineer? He is. He's an engineer. I know that already. Let's take a look. Who shot target 15? Who shot 15? Who's me? Let's use our name. So Matt, what's your last name? I'm not picking on Matt. This is a perfect target. So you guys see this target? So he's got 2 rounds right dead center, 3 rounds that I could cover with a paster 3 inches south, and then 1 more south of that. Where was Matt pointing the gun when those 2 went off? Where was Matt pointing the gun when those 3 went off? And what's that? I didn't hear. What'd you say? Well, he was pointing right there, wouldn't he? Yeah. And where was he pointing when that one went off? Now, conversely, where is Bob? Where's Sergeant Bob's target? Where is it? All right, so I bet Sergeant Bob's got a halfway decent target. It's halfway decent. There's a better one out here, Sergeant Bob. Today you're not the winner. So check out Sergeant Bob's target. Take a look. Can you guys see it? You can basically cover all of his holes with 1 target paster. What did Bob do different? He didn't suck. I'm just kidding. All Bob did different, where's Matthew at? Was your job, Matt, was to point that barrel at the target, and you just moved it a little more than Bob did, right? So he's just was doing a better job of not moving a metal tube. Shooting, especially in marksmanship exercises like this, is really your ability to just point the thing without moving it while you press the trigger. We could talk for hours about that. This is not a, you disagree, Joe? Joe H? You made this face. Boys making some sense. What's that? I know. That's why I say it. I don't really say anything that's not good, but
Pardon my face.
no, it's good. I just want to make sure you didn't disagree, because if so, I was going to challenge you. So check it out. Check it out. My job is just to point this thing where I want it to go. So when Big Bob was pointing his gun here, if it moved and he's got 1 little flyer off to the right, who moved it there? When Matt's moved, who moved it? Yeah, so we attach ideas like flinching or anticipating. Whatever that thing is to you doesn't matter to me. Why I say that, it's important that we fix it, but this is not a marksmanship event. You need to fix yourself quickly. And you could shoot for years and not grow at all. You could become, here's a great story. I've got a guy I ran into at SHOT Show. I met him 6 years ago in California. Literally taught him how to load a pistol and holster it. Run into him in SHOT Show. And he's got a shirt on that says Beretta USA. He's now Team Beretta, USPSA Grandmaster, not because of me, because he spent like 3 years just dedicated, and now he shoots for one of the #1 firearm manufacturers on the planet in just a couple years. You don't need to spend years and years and years and years doing this. Shooting is really, really easy. The explosion of shooting instruction, no offense to the instructors here, myself included, we ain't saving lives and frickin' curing cancer. This is like Bennett's job as a kindergarten teacher is 40 times harder than teaching people to shoot guns. Nobody's got any magic sauce. You are holding a tool and pointing it. All the other shit you wrap around it is crap. So your job is to do it with repeatability, so that for you, right now I've got a tendon blown up in my hand. Little, I don't know, something. It's nasty. Looks like a little leech underneath my skin. That's how you guys sound down here to me. So my hand is like being weak and bitchy. So I'm gonna have to probably adjust the way I grip the gun. It's gonna be different than the way Big Rob holds the gun, or different than the way Bennett holds the gun. So for us to tell you, do X, Y, Z, that's a lie too. When we grip the gun, Our job is to have something repeatable. Repeatability starts with touch points. We'll talk about that next, how we're going to grip the gun. What time is it? We're going to assess these targets, pick the winner, dress these targets, and then we're going to do some dry fire exercises to make sure that we have good grips. Do you guys need to pee and drink some water? Yep. Pee, drink some water, come right back while we figure out who the winner is. Really? Those are the winners?
Yeah, those are the ones you need to look at, yeah.
So we said these 3 R's, repeatable, reliable, robust. Repeatable, reliable, robust. Will it stand up to violence, to me being tired? Will it stand up to me being human? We all make mistakes. We are going to use this very basic idea of creating a good master grip. What's a good master grip? Basically, it's something that I can form on the pistol every time without thought. In order to do that, I've got to check, check, check. There we go. In order to do that, I've got to build a good grip. Just the blue gun, guys, or the cert gun. I've got to build a good grip, identify what it looks like and feels like. We'll use touch points. For me, the web of my dominant hand, about right here. For me, it's right here. For you, it might be somewhere different. Every gun's a little different. I mean, sure, like if we line up a bunch of Glock 19s that are all brand new, no, they're not different. So if you're a weirdo that's like, oh, this one feels totally different, you're a liar and you're an idiot and you're making shit up to sound more important than you are. Stop it. All your ex-wives were right about you. You know what I mean? But for me, this little spot on my middle finger, you see that this is a little thicker. There's a little thickened edge here. I call this the pledge knuckle. And that's from slamming into the trigger guard, right? Right here on this hand, it's from beating into the beaver tail. Did you like that, Mitchell? Did you ever beat a beaver tail?
Oh yeah, I just went to Bucky's and did it.
Did you really? You got an aunt named Bucky? See what I did there? See what I did? Rob Wilson's like, this would never fly with my job. How much do we need to squeeze the gun? Talk to me, Joe. Joe P? Enough. Enough for what? So if I form a good grip around the pistol, what is the result of that if I do it right? So shooting a group, does recoil matter? Shooting a group, recoil matters? Shooting a no time constraint group, does recoil matter? No, right? In fact, we could shoot a group with our hand like this. Yes, you guys ever watch a NRA bullseye shooter? Brian Zins grabs his belt or his pocket like this and he stands just like this. Brian can shoot a quarter the diameter of this circle at 50 meters with an iron-sighted 1911. And this is how he stands. Is he controlling recoil? The gun goes like this, boom. He relaxes, boom. He relaxes. He's in fact doing the opposite. He's letting recoil just pop the gun everywhere. Yes? Recoil matters only if it matters. Where's my guy from this morning? Where's that little mustache elevator repairman? Where are you at? Remember, we were trying to define some metrics, right, that I could repeat. So if there's no time constraint, recoil doesn't matter. But if we now said shoot 6 rounds in 7 seconds, now we've got something. If I said shoot 6 rounds in 2 seconds, now we've got something. If I said shoot the 6 rounds in 1 second, boy, you better be gripping the shit out of the gun or the rounds are going to be up here, right? So it changes. It changes. For what we're doing, for the most part, just grip the gun very firm. Yes? Did any of the instructors, I saw a few, let's see, where's my Puerto Rican friend? Where are you at? Raise your hand. Yeah, come here. You're exactly who I was looking for. Can you please grip this gun like you were gripping your gun? That is not how you were gripping your gun. I saw this shit.
No.
Yes.
I got a light.
I got a light.
There's no way I could grab it.
Who was doing it? I swear it was you. Who was it? One of you guys was gripping the gun like this. Who was it? No? All right, fine, forget it. The dominant hand, who's left-handed? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing changes, right? We're just switching it. So if I'm a righty, our holster needs to support us getting that gun into the web of our hand. So if I'm in the appendix position or on the hip, I've got to be able to get in deep. See how my gun is against my tummy right now? So this causes me to have to pull that gun up to get my thumb around. That's fine. I'm looking for, inside the waistband, about 5/8 of an inch between the belt line in this intersection. Any lower and most men's hands won't get in there. Any higher and you're giving up concealability and the gun looks like that. Yes? Do we need to have any kind of a holster talk? Everybody feels good about their holsters? Any questions on holsters? We're good? One thing that's very important out here this weekend, and the instructors, while the guns are unloaded, we're gonna check to make sure that you've got enough retention. Like, I don't like this. I'm gonna give that a little bit of tightening before we begin, because as we're running around and moving stuff, it's easy for the gun to flop out. And so we don't want that. So if your gun has no retention and it's just kind of like a hot dog in a hallway, you know what I mean? Sergeant Bob knows exactly what I'm talking about. We need to tighten that up. Yes? The support hand. Ideally, I want as much contact with that grip as possible with the support hand without impeding any controls on the gun. Men like to do things more. And so what we've seen is guys start to migrate their hands higher and higher on the gun, and now they're impeding slide locks and dumping magazines out of the gun. If our hand gets so high that we're touching the controls, you need to reform your grip. Got it? Does anybody, did any of you instructors see a grip that needed a little adjustment? Anybody? The instructors? No? Then we won't harp on that. We'll look as we go. Why don't we do this? We'll bring you back to the line. We'll go from the 7. We're going to work a draw stroke. I'm going to set my real gun on the ground, which is locked out and loaded, or unloaded, pardon me. And I'm going to use this for just a second. The draw stroke we can break down into steps, but the draw stroke is really one fluid movement. It's no different than drawing a sword. It's no different than putting yourself into a fighting posture, right? You are just creating this movement where the gun appears where you want it to. We can wrap a whole bunch of bullshit around that. We can create trademarks and logos. We're looking to remove stuff, not add stuff. Position 1, I go to the gun, my support hand comes to the center of my body. If I've got a cover garment on, position 1 would look like this. Got it? Some people call this a 3 position, some people call it a 4. We'll break it into 4 for today. 1, 2, 3, collection point 4. Got it? 3. I'm going to verify my trigger guard's clear, my holster's clear. I'm just going to point over here as I go to the holster. Is that okay? No, because there's people over here. You may say, well, in reality, there won't be somebody there, but today there is. So I've got this basically lane in front of me that is my responsibility to stay inside of it. If you cannot maintain that responsibility, we'll have to remove you from the line. Very rarely does that happen because this is pretty easy. Does everybody here drive a car? Yes? How many of you have ever texted or played on your phone while driving? Raise your hand, I want to see it. So we all admit to that. Do we all just admit to that? What happens when you guys see another motorist on their phone? You're angry, right? Because you feel that you have an ability that they don't you? Has anybody ever almost hit somebody while on their phone? Never? You've never almost, are you shitting me? You're a liar. You've never had a red light come up too fast, a car slow down in front of you? You're lying. Before phones, you've never been on the radio, fucking around with the CD player, looking at a map? You've been preoccupied behind the wheel, yes? And then what do you do when you almost have a little mishap? 10 and 2 and you're all in, man. Your heart's right with Jesus. You're going to be a good driver. And then 3 minutes later, you're back to the distraction. It is a choice to pay attention. When the gun's out, man, I've got to be on it. I've got to be on it and paying attention.
I was going to say that it makes me think about what he said earlier about the process and versus the outcome, focus on the outcome. right? A little bit different spin on it. But just because you're that guy that has that confidence, you got competency, you got preparation, but you being the guy doesn't create the outcome. You being the guy that goes by the process creates the outcome, right? So we talked about it in context of a guy winning a world championship or setting a record, but the safety aspect of it. Every time you clear the gun, just because you're the guy that knows how to run a gun doesn't make the gun clear, right? You pull it out, you go through the process. Just like we were talking earlier about how you unload your gun, and some of you were skipping those steps, but we're telling you, go through the process and ensure that you deliberately know that you went through the process, because that creates the safe gun. Not just because you know guns and you've been doing it for a while, right? Process focused. And the words you just said, Bob, he said it's a process. It's not because Bob's great with bombs and if bombs just do what he says because he's Bob and he shows up and there's bombs and Bob and bombs. Bob goes through the process or Bob don't get the result that he wants. Is it true? And it ain't worth the risk, is it? So is it worth the risk for you to skip steps in the process and just assume because you are comfortable with the gun that the gun is going to have the outcome that you want it to have if you're not paying attention? Is that worth the risk? No. It's not, right? So focus on the process. What you put in is what you're going to get out, bottom line. Not because you got a great mustache. Not because you got tight buns. Not because you carry a gun all the time, and so did your daddy and your daddy's daddy, and you knew a guy that was in the army, and you slept with a gun on your pillow, or whatever the fuck. It's the process every single time.
Make sense?
Yeah.
If it sounds like we're harping on it, it's for a reason, because at some point we're going to be moving. We're never shooting past each other at this event, but we're going to be moving all over this range. Quite simply, every time I put my hand on this gun to draw it, I've got a quick checklist. Is it safe for me to point a gun in that direction? Yes, no. Is it safe for me to discharge a gun in that direction? Yes, no. And this needs to be really quick, just like when you come to a busy intersection. I do shit with that truck and trailer that I would have never done as a 16 or 17-year-old driver, right? But now you know what you're looking for when you've been driving for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, right? That's where we need to be, that you understand by looking around. I know that car can't come into my space and it gives me the time and blah, blah, blah. You get it, right?
Started to create a system with that process, didn't you?
Till I freaking got that one guy I hit and then realized it was broken. What's that? Glitch in the system. Basically, we want you guys to be able to go anywhere and everybody to be safe with, not safe, but comfortable with your level of gun handling. Not because you're scared of the gun, but you dominate it and own it. Face down range. Lock the slider bolt to the rear. Bring that gun up into that cake eating space. Cant the mag well inboard. Seat lock tug. Cycle. What could I do right now? I could press check, right? No press checking should have me putting my fingers within an inch of that muzzle. So if I need to, probably the best way is bring the gun back up by your breast meat and I can look straight down. If I open that action, ensure it's in battery. Finger straight. In battery means loaded, and the gun will go off. Out of battery, in battery. Out of battery, in battery. Yes? If I open it, close it. If you're shooting a gun with an external safety, safety goes on now. If I've got a decocker, I decock now. Yes? Finger straight, into the holster. So we'll load all these guns right now in a moment. Clear the line. So Matthew's gripping the gun with his finger on the trigger guard here. Coincidentally, all these manufacturers, even Mr. Mike Hughes that makes the CERT gun, puts these little finger tabs on here. There's almost not a single shooter on the planet that's like won anything that does this. Back in the day, that was the case, and there's a couple reasons for that. This is a big lever. I can steer the gun pretty easy with that lever. So just a little observation on grip. Right here's a perfect illustration. Who was shooting this? William? That was Mitchell? So if you see, Mitchell's rounds are just starting to drop low and left. So as a right-hand shooter, if we take our right hand and we grip the pistol, this same thing happens with a rifle with a pistol grip on it. If as I depress the trigger, my grip tightens, look at where the muzzle goes. See that? Yes? Depending on the muscle makeup of your hand, it may also drop low. It might go left, it might go low, it could go up. What's happening is just take your hand and look at it and tighten. Look at all the muscles moving. Put your other fingers on the pads of your finger on your palm and just gently move. Do you feel all the little bits and pieces moving? All of those things are steering the gun around. So your job, like Sergeant Bob, is to not allow those bits and pieces to move. That's it. If your finger's up front, you're taking one of the biggest bits of strength out of the equation. So I want circumferential pressure all the way around, and how much grip pressure? All of it. Robbie Latham, one of the greatest shooters of all time, big, big hands. Rob just says, as much as I can and as much as I can. You may find that you can use less. Fine, you're going to experiment, but more is probably better most of the time. If, as I am joining here, I'm finding myself coming to a point that I don't want to be, stop. Touch how you want it to be. Connect, drive the hands out. Connect, drive the hands out. Connect, drive the hands out. Yes? Arm posture. Here, 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 here. I don't know. There's a lot of rights and wrongs. Weaver versus Chapman versus the modern isosceles. Maybe. What we do see, by and large, watching the greatest shooters on the planet, is a relaxed isosceles stance, maybe a little bit of bend, not overly extended, and definitely not turtled, because when I turtle behind that gun, I now put a bunch of tension in my neck. When I did that, I literally heard cracking. Is that normal, Rob? Yeah, for you. My eyeballs rotate up in the socket and create a bunch of tension on my eyes that make it hard to see. I wouldn't read a book up here, right? You put it right in front of you. So I'm just going to bring the gun right in front of my face. Who's cross-eye dominant besides me? Cross-eye dominant guys, I don't need to do this or this. I just push the gun in front of my eye. We got a couple inches pupil to pupil, right eye, left eye, right eye, left eye. So just, you can stand pretty neutral. Any of you guys ever watch me demonstrate shooting groups like on the knee or on one foot? Yes? I'm not that good a shooter. Where's the gun? It's just on the target. Yes? So the stance doesn't matter that much. It does and it doesn't. Just stand neutral behind the gun. I think about the easiest way is if you were going to box a little bit, or if you were going to maybe just try to move on a basketball court or get ready to run, how would you stand? If I said to you, get ready to run, how would you stand? Yeah, so everybody kind of bladed slightly, they dropped their weight slightly. That's it, that's all you need to do. When we're shooting a group, you may find that just being pretty relaxed is the best thing to do. The more I take myself out of my natural way I stand, the more weird shit's gonna be. If I don't stand like at the checkout like this, and my body's used to standing here all day, why wouldn't I just shoot from the way I stand all day? Yeah? Yes? No? Okay. Take a look at your target. If you've got any misses, targets are data. If I don't have clean data, I don't know what I'm changing or doing. So if you just ever go to a range and you just see a guy's got a piece of cardboard with like 87,000 holes, you have zero way to take action on anything. You don't know where any bullets are going, so how do you adjust or know if you're doing a great job? Can you? No. Kanan and I have a joke. I'll say, hey, Kanan, how many, and it's not me, it's like me having a legitimate question because we got to order something. I'll go, hey, how many 4-ounce bottles do we have for the lube? And he used to say, what'd you say, Kanan?
Enough.
He'd say enough, or he'd say a good amount. The fuck does that mean, right? And to him it was, I know there's enough for what we're doing, but he didn't know that I just talked to a guy that wanted 2,000 bottles, right? I need to know exactly how many we got. Anybody ever overdraw their checking account? We've all done it, right? We've all been to at the porn store trying to frickin' get that Fireman Goes to Dallas video, and then your card doesn't work. I know Les knows exactly what I'm talking about. Dr. Les. Hey, why didn't you raise your hand earlier? I forgot you're an oral surgeon, you son of a bitch.
I didn't want you to call me Doc all week.
Why?
I don't know.
You're a doctor.
He's on vacation.
He's an oral surgeon that spends his days gloved up just...
What kind of oral?
You see why I didn't want to?
Oh.
Because he's He's not a real doctor. That's right. It's not his fault.
I thought you said doctor.
We understand what I'm saying here, guys? About him and what he does? No. So we need a clean target. I'm off it.
30, yes, sir.
You guys, we got a clean target? Okay. You guys are evens. Evens are shooting target 10. Odds are shooting target 5. We'll use the command of up, up, and you're going to draw. No speed. We will tell you the round count. We're just going to start with 1 round. Just 1. You're going to draw, fire a round. I'll say safely recover. You're going to verify your trigger guard's clear. You're going to verify your holster is clear. That I'm not just looking. I'm making sure. Have any of you ever had a part fall off your holster? I have a bag of probably 40 or 50 of the little screws that hold bits on holsters that I just pick up off the range and throw into a bag because somebody's going to need one, and half of them are off my shit. You go in the bucket in there full of holsters, and there's a bunch of little screws that have just fallen off just from driving on the road. Shit falls off of these things. Look at it. Yes? Look at your gun. Almost every class, somebody loses a screw off of something. Guarantee that screw was backing out before it fell off. You didn't look. So it's my job, man. Just is my shit the way I want it. Get it? You could even check the mag. Give the mag and make sure it's seated before you go to the holster. Yes? Questions? Okay, so we're going to shoot live. If you miss the target, what's your responsibility?
Make it up.
Right, so this is not just one loud noise, it's one hit on the prescribed target. In this case, number 10. Yeah, 10 for you animals. All right, we good?
Good.
And up.